There are doors everywhere, and all of them locked. Suddenly, I saw something moving between two yew trees. A dim white figure.
The Threshold Paranormal Podcast starts now.
Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 10.
Big 10, dude.
Double digits.
We're into it now.
Today we're covering a topic that is kind of near and dear to our hearts.
Inadvertently.
Because it's like you have a history with it. We now have a history with it. It's sort of like it's one of the most famous local Cincinnati legends.
Definitely of the area. It's in the top. It's top 3.
Talking
for
about,
sure.
Talking about Lick Road.
And I mean, just when we were there, we had multiple people coming down who were all there for not necessarily to investigate, but because they had heard it too.
Some for better, some for worse came down. So.
Yeah, some for better, some for worse.
So with this, I guess what the plan is, this is kind of like us reacting to some of the part 1 footage. We're still going to be doing what would you want to call it? Like a
deep dive.
No, but what we're building towards like a part 1 of like a mini doc, a mini documentary. So this is us kind of reacting to some of the footage. By no means is this all of it, because there was a shitload.
Yeah, it's interesting. Lick Road is kind of like this. It's this urban legend that isn't really backed up by any like historical data, but it's interesting nonetheless. And it seems like the deeper you dive, the more you uncover.
Oh, definitely. The more stuff you find out, and which makes it, which got me, and I hope like the rest of us that much more invested in it. Because at first I'm like, man, this place just isn't going to amount to shit. And then the more time we spent and the more information we found out, the more things that came to light, I'm like, whoa, we're gonna. It's going to be an endeavor. That's pretty much the whole thing. Also, Nick, show the people your shirt, your threads.
Yeah, I got me a shirt while we were up at Salt Fork Lake. It says, "Warning: Do not feed the Sasquatch." Salt Fork Lake State Park.
And I'm rocking the OG.
Yeah, I love this shirt actually.
OG Threshold shirt.
We plugging our merch.
And get it, Dill. Show 'em.
I also have a shirt with my face on it.
And me as a giraffe.
Such a pompous ass.
That's
man.
all I think when I see me on there. I am a goddamn giraffe.
I
or
look
those
like I
aliens
live
that made
under
the
a damn
clones.
bridge.
Yeah, but that's not far from reality.
Touche. But yeah, check it out. ThresholdParanormal.com. Go buy a shirt or subscribe or like or
Grab a poster.
Posters.
oh yeah, we got posters too of that one.
Put pictures of us on your walls.
For reasons.
Whatever reason you want.
Whatever floats your goat, dude. All right, but let's
talk about Lick Road because
get into this. Because it's already a late night. We've been
super late.
We've been slogging through the shit. So
the grind.
What are we gonna do first, there, Dill?
Well, let's talk about what Lick Road is first. I think a lot of people just tuning in or just becoming familiar with it. Lick Road is this like unassuming road up in Fairfield. More specifically, it's in Dunlap, which is like a 6 square mile area of really Colerain.
It's like a confluence of these 3 areas, and you don't really. It's kind of like it's undefined. I mean, it's defined on a map, but no one really knows what the hell it is.
Would you say it's the threshold of
it's the
3
threshold.
areas? Oh,
Well, the bulk of the road is in Colerain, or in Dunlap, which is in Colerain. But the interesting part of the road, the cul-de-sac at the end of the road, is at this like county line with the city owns part of it, and then there's like a park there called the Richardson Nature Preserve or Forest Preserve. So yeah, it's this weird area geographically. But the reason people are so attracted to it is because of the urban legend.
It's like it. Well, like to me, like I heard the urban legend going back into probably, I'm gonna say the first time, like I might have heard it in passing beforehand, but the first time I actually fully heard was like probably about seventh, eighth grade. And it was, the stereotypical, oh, there's Amy and, she was pregnant and killed by her boyfriend. That's the story I heard. She was killed at the bridge or killed and thrown over the bridge. There's different variations, but it's always the same basic kind of tragedy of a young girl dying there. And I don't want to say too much, but I mean, the stuff we come to find out is sobering, and it makes the area that not that much more interesting, but that, I don't know, because interesting I feel is a bad choice of words for it.
Well, like if you dive, like I said, there's levels to Lick Road. So there's this the urban legend is of the girl named Amy, right? And there's as many stories as there are people who tell them about this Amy character, who there is no newspaper articles or police reports that even mention the name Amy, that mention like this girl existing. But the story is something like she took her newborn baby to this bridge at the end of Lick Road, which there is a bridge there.
Yeah.
That everyone's colloquially dubbed it the Crybaby Bridge. And like her disgruntled father threw the baby off the bridge, or she threw the baby off the bridge. It's a weird like mix match.
There's tons of variations, but then, like I said, we come to find out that there is recent tragedy tied to the trail, tied to the bridge, tied to the area, and that's something that when we started dabbling, we were not remotely aware of, and it made going there, I don't know, more, how would you want to start? Like more, it made it more real, in a way.
Right.
It was no longer the folkloric element. It was you're on the same ground that real recent tragedy, people still living today that are affected by it. And that to me was a sobering note to the whole thing. And Lick Road's one of those weird things. The deeper you dig, the more it starts giving you. But
well, it's weird because we went to Lick Road with this legend in mind, and there are some real like true crime stories from the 70s that are tied to Lick Road. There's a story about Linda Dyer, this girl that was killed back in like 1976. And her murder was tied to like some mob connections and some like drug busts back then. And so she gets connected to Lick Road. And she was murdered while hitchhiking. And they found her body at the corner of Crest and Banks Road, which is
not too far.
It's not too far from Lick Road. So, and what makes it kind of a richer story is that where her body was found, there was no blood found around her body. So the implication is that she was killed elsewhere and then brought to that location, dumped there. So
then there's really no way of knowing where.
Right. So Lick Road becomes the obvious scapegoat. But what's interesting is where her body was found was at the corner of Crest and Banks. So the creek that runs underneath the bridge at the end of Lick Road is called Bank Lick Creek. And it's named Bank Lick Creek because it runs from Banks Road or Bank Road to Lick Road. So it's called Bank Lick Creek. So literally her murder is connected to
by the water, by the waterway itself. It's just it's one of those areas you got to go to, and with the small series we're going to make with this, you realize that a lot of the horror, quote unquote, of the area is really greatly man-made. In the whole area, as beautiful as it is, it's tragically run down, and it's a public dump site. It's an eyesore, and it's a shame to see an area like that be treated that way. Any kind of nature area to be treated that way, and then let alone you start delving into the history of the area and the the tragedy of the area and everything else. And it's a weird spot is pretty much all I can say. The place itself feels conflicted. It wants to be a gorgeous nature preserve for you to walk the trails and enjoy it. It wants to be a spooky place. It doesn't know what it is. And I sure as hell couldn't put my finger on what it was.
It definitely has a conflicted character because the area Dunlap is, like I said, it's a small census designated place. It's like a 6 square mile area. And that area is named after John Dunlap, who is also the namesake of a fort that was there back in like the 1700s. It was called Dunlap Station. And there's this historic account of a group of Native Americans coming together. And I'm talking like the Miamis, the Lenape, the Shawnee, all of these disgruntled, displaced Native American tribes banding together under the tutelage of like Simon Girty. They called him the White Indian, who was this interesting character.
He sounds like a cool dude.
But like him and Blue Jacket and all these other big names came together and formed this war party. And they stormed Dunlap Station and ended up murdering people. And there's like accounts of torture. And all of this happened. There's also Colerain earthworks there, like 2,000-year-old Adena mounds in the same area.
So the area is ripe.
It's
the area is ripe, and that's the thing. We come to find out like everything that we dive into, which I'm gonna assume is any area. You just throw a dart at the United States, and if you pursue it deep enough, what could be there is insane. And Lick Road is definitely just the area of it is definitely one of those spots. And it almost, I don't know, and Back in the Woods, it has a very...
There's definitely a vibe, man.
It has a vibe. And the area is it's a super rare type of environment.
It's a freshwater marshland.
Which is like there's
it's very few of those in the United States. Very rare plants grow there. It's just strange in every possible way. I realize now that this podcast has like a strange tone because normally we're pretty lighthearted, but this place is just so interesting.
Oh, this place is
it's so dark and weird.
And that's what you go into the only way I can describe it when you walk back in the woods there. And I mean this in the best way. It has a very Sleepy Hollow kind of vibe to me.
I would agree with that.
It's a pretty place, but it's hauntingly pretty.
You almost
no pun
feel
intended.
Like not right.
Oh yeah,
like from the time you start walking back that like trail.
Something with the area.
Unexplainable. It's not like you feel unsafe or anything. It
no,
just
you don't feel
like
in danger.
Something's up.
Yeah, you do not feel. I feel like people need to go. The park needs to be used and respected. I want to highlight that because it is definitely not being respected. But the area, it's a cool spot, but you go there and you can tell that something's going on. There's something in the air maybe. And I don't know. I love it. I'm hooked. It's got me hook, line, and sinker now, especially with how deep we've dove in. But what's our first little clip we're gonna tease them with here?
So we we said we went down to Lick Road. When was that we went to Lick Road?
It was on that day back then.
Yeah.
It had to have been like
April?
2 months now, 3 months.
It was longer because my little girl's about to be 4 months old, and so
and mine's 2 months.
Exactly.
So math.
And Emily was still preggo.
So like 5 months ago.
Sure, we're gonna
We've
go
been
with that.
sitting on this stuff for a minute now.
It's been a minute.
Maybe we should before we watch the videos. Maybe we should tell them like your history there, like why we went to the Lick Road in the first place.
Oh, I mean, just I mentioned it to them, just in passing. Like we were trying to just kind of brainstorm ideas, and I remembered the place. I remembered going there as a teenager. We actually got chased out of the place by I think it was a green GMC or Chevy truck. Chased us all the way back out to the main road, and then our friend that's in this with us, that's going to be part of the documentary, Nick Bryan. He had a sighting there. We just went there on a bored night, just nothing better to do. And he was at the back of the car. I don't know what he was. He could have been taking a piss for all I know, but all of a sudden he climbs up the trunk of the car, screaming, saying he saw what I think he described as like it looked like a girl in a white dress walking in the woods. And I'm like, so we're trying to come up with spooky areas. I'm like, well, that's close and it fits the bill. So
Yeah, I mean, it's right in your backyard, man. That's like
it's like what, 15, 20 minutes away from the house?
it's so close,
If
man.
that.
It's so
If
close.
that,
And it's so
yeah.
accessible.
If that.
And I want to say, we got a permit to be here at night. I mean, people go and visit this place at night.
We did it legally.
Did it legally. And if you go, you should do it too. But I will say, there were tons of people there without permits.
Lots.
Lots of people. Lots of trap. Made it really difficult
Let's
to film.
just say, we got asked the question, are y'all hunting ghosts?
Three
A
times.
lot.
Like 3 times.
A lot.
In one night.
That's probably being like very conservative with the.
So we pulled our guns out and went, yes. No, I'm joking. We didn't have guns.
Where are them ghosts at?
It's like, yeah, we're making some.
We're gonna make. You want to be a
We
ghost?
got all the ingredients to make ghosts right here.
We hunt them and we make them.
All right. So what we got here, what we got lined up, is we went out to Lick Road, spent the evening there, and we brought out our spirit box, our SB7, and we brought out a Ouija board, which I
We had
know. What's up?
what's the little thing we had? The other thing.
Oh, millimeter.
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 That's it. Words.
So I know the Ouija board is kind of a controversial ghost hunting tool. You know, some people feel either way about it.
You can feel whatever way you want about it. It's
Still
creepy.
moves.
It's creepy. I feel the same way.
It still moves either way. So we went out there and we used the Estes method, which for y'all who don't know what the Estes method is, it's basically listening to a spirit box with a blindfold on.
Which was absolutely the creepiest damn experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Both
Horrifying.
with it
Highly
on
recommend it.
and like with some, like when one of you is on it and we ask a question that I know you can't hear. It's like, hey, what color shirt am I wearing? Black, black, black. And it's like, I'm outie.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving.
There's sometimes it's scary, poignant, or
Yeah,
you ask a
it's-
question that has a numerical answer and you get a numerical response.
The biggest thing that you guys are going to hear, and I'm sure we're going to explain it, is there was things being said in these clips using the Estes method that we didn't understand how poignant they were until after the fact.
Right.
And
Especially the
that
person
to me,
saying them.
that to me is the single most important thing that we've gotten out of this whole thing is we'll just watch the damn clips. We'll watch the damn clips.
Well, like you said, we there is a real murder that happened at Lick Road in 2014. A girl was killed there. I'm not going to say her name, but we didn't know about that
We had no idea.
when
we had no
went
idea.
there. We knew about the legend,
Yeah.
and we knew about the Linda Dyer, but we did not know about
The recent.
the more
Tragedy.
recent 2014 murder, because it's in that like we were saying, it's in that weird, like conflicting
The counties
jurisdictions.
and cities didn't know what to do with it.
So the news didn't really report on it as much as they probably should have, because it was this weird. It got covered by the state. It's just
And
we kind of got swept under the
we
rug.
do not like mean to play any light of the tragedy that happened there by making the stuff. That's why I don't want to do like names or nothing. Like, respect their privacy, leave the people alone. This is about the road, and unfortunately that is part of the history of this place.
And didn't we hear about it from like a city worker or something that was
when
down
the
there?
city workers showed up.
That's
dude.
right.
It's been a wild ride with liquor.
Yeah, it was.
It's been a time.
It's not many places that we either go to or would go to where we've done research and go there only to find out some other big piece of information.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a small bit of information.
Right,
It
right.
was like this dude showed up. This dude showed up out of nowhere and just vomited information.
right,
All like it
pertinent and not
and
pertinent.
it
He
changed.
just had a lot to say.
To me, it changed the entire kind of scope of what we were doing. I'm not saying we were going there to screw around, but all the information he gave us made the entire thing. It gave it a very serious note. Then it made it real and tangible, and that's something that I mean I don't know if we'll ever have again.
And it made it where like So typically, even with Lick Road, but a lot of haunted places always like, yeah, this tragic event happened in the 17, 18, early 1900s. And then we come to find out there's an event that's extremely recent.
6-7 years ago this happened here.
Like,
That's why Lick Road's so crazy, because it's every time period.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have ancient history. It's haunted. A few hundred years ago, it's haunted. In the 1970s, it's haunted. And today, it's haunted.
just
So
a lot of
it's just
negative events that
decades of haunt. I have a whole theory about the term lick too, because the word lick means a deposit of salt or minerals, and so you find the word lick, or you find the word salt associated with a lot of haunted places, like
A lot of just weird. I mean, look, we went to Salt Fork.
Bigfoot, paranormal stuff. Big Salt Fork down in Kentucky. You have the Licking River in Ohio is right where Bobby Mackey's is sitting
it's the
on.
only one that runs.
I'm sorry, Kentucky.
Is it north?
There's a couple of them.
or something like that?
it is an
well,
anomaly.
It's one of the few that run north.
Yeah. And really, any place that has mineral deposits in the ground. Skinwalker Ranch has like an underground river. All of Kentucky, the Pennyroyal is sitting on top of a mineral deposit.
Pennyroyal's a wild. That's a
Yeah,
wild.
go check out Pennyroyal
spot.
podcast if you
Pennyroyal
haven't.
podcast is like that one. If you're gonna watch it, dude, I just want to say I listened to that shit from Savannah, Georgia, all the way home. I drove to Cincinnati. You're a godsend, because that shit kept me awake and hooked. Anyway, all
I
right.
love to have Nathan Isaac sitting in this podcast sometimes.
He's got a good voice, dude, don't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got one of them voices. I'm like, man, just like read a shampoo bottle, do something, man.
Well, and I think when we talk about all these having like water sources and stuff, that goes back to that whole theory that there's like energies and haunts and things that stick around in places that are in constant motion. So you have like airports, train stations.
The liminal-
You have constant motion with a river or
hell,
a creek
there's
or
a-
something
there's a
always
bridge
running
there.
through.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
There's a
Literal
bridge. How often do you stop on a bridge? No, you just walk across. So it just keeps playing into. That's what's crazy to me about Lick Road.
Has all the ingredients.
It has so many things that we've talked about that just happen to fit.
And I know the haunted Indian, like a hunting ground is sort of a trope in the paranormal world.
Dude,
but
if it works, it works.
A lick is a place. It's called a lick because animals literally lick the ground there.
They crave the mineral.
They crave the mineral in the soil. So it stands to reason that a lick that's in a heavily trafficked Native American area would be like their hunting ground. So, not just human death there, but all sorts of death. Just
all the death you
it's
can
weird.
want.
It's a weird place. So I'm going to quit beating around the bush, and we should probably watch some of these sessions that we did.
Let's go.
Starting with Nick Bryant, the person who had the personal experience there with Bryan.
Okay, ready? 3 times around.
Start the session by
Warming the
Reopen
board.
sign of
Yeah, warming the board.
communication. If there is anyone here with us, please let us know by moving this planchet.
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty nerve-wracking
candles
opening
as a
up
guide
and being the
to
first one to talk.
You're the beast, dude. You're the best at it.
It's one of those where you just feel uneasy
Is there
for a
anyone
minute.
here with us?
I don't know how many times I burnt my damn arm on that fucking candle.
Oh, you got to start recording.
Being real
Oh,
patient with it.
whoops-a-daisy.
Taking a minute.
That's right. I'll match it.
Is Amy here?
Never did get to talk to her.
Well, maybe we did. We're not really sure.
I was set
Maybe
on.
she's a real person.
I was set on chatting up old Amy.
He was.
Is Linda here?
It's a long night.
So this is sort of, we can probably pause it here. So this is sort of like what you find with the Estes sessions a lot, is that it has to kind of warm up. It gains momentum.
Oh no, it definitely needs momentum.
I think he doesn't even talk until 3 minutes in.
Nick Bryan definitely warmed the board up. Let's say,
We can say that for sure.
and Yeah, it got good. Not the Ouija board. The Estes method is a slow roll, and it started with him, and by the time it got to Dylan, it was chugging right along.
There's a theory that when you listen to the spirit box, it's a very jarring, kind of like trance-inducing state, and the idea is that you need to actually kind of get into that.
Oh, it's disorienting as hell.
Get into that
when you
mode.
first started, yeah, it's disorienting as hell.
So we can skip to like 250.
What about Tree Fitty?
250.
We'll get there.
350.
We'll get there.
About Tree
But
Fitty.
that's on the Loch Ness Monster episode.
Oh, okay.
That's when we go to Tree Fitty.
I can't wait. So this is where he actually hears something.
God, look at my face right there. Just zoned in.
This is the first thing he hears.
If you see the red light, forbidden.
Just an interesting way to start.
You just see me and Bryan look at each other like,
Is that you talking to Nick? Through the spirit box?
What is forbidden?
So this is where I kind of screwed up. We got
That was
just
you
pause it for a
telling
sec.
us that-
We got like really excited.
yeah.
We knew the rules. The rules are one person asks the questions.
Yeah, but when you're there, dude.
But we got caught up in the moment. We're trying to talk to ghosts. I'm new. I'm new to this. I'm new. I don't know what to do. And I wanted to be included.
If you don't put the damn Joe Dirt clip in there when you just said that,
I'm
I will quit the goddamn podcast.
I don't know what to
I will
do.
quit. If it isn't played right after he says that, this is my
Joe
resignation
Dirt.
letter.
Don't try to spice it up, Dirt.
Yeah, so I do that a few times.
Yeah, I think we were all kind
My
of guilty
bad.
of it, though.
We all do.
I think we were all pretty guilty
We all
of
did.
it.
This is part one.
Because you kind of get like in that zone and you get that like rush.
You take the bait.
and-
You take the bait. Once the first little
Yeah.
response, you're like, oh shit.
And the feeling once it started, like it was literally from when he said forbidden. Like from that point on, the whole atmosphere changed.
And I want to say another thing too. I don't want to spoil a surprise, but hell with it. We have some people later on that screw with us at location. But until they did that, we were so in the zone.
Oh, dude,
We were like-
I feel like if they didn't mess with us, we wouldn't be able to stop this podcast. We'd be here next week talking about
There
all
was
this.
so much going on. Everyone was in the I don't even know how to describe it. We were literally we were rolling, dude. We were rolling.
Yeah.
just in the zone.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch him build up speed. After this, he kind of turns off for a minute, so we can fast forward like 5 minutes or something, like right on 5 minutes. This is the only interaction we got with the millimeter all night.
The millimeter was really hit or miss there.
We were literally underneath power lines.
Yeah, but remember
It was still at zero,
But
though.
we ran a test. Yeah, we ran tests to see if because the power lines are like pretty far overhead, and like we were not getting. I mean, we were stated to zero, but we were getting random spikes like near the bridge, not really on the bridge, near the bridge, like on the main kind of trail.
Well, I
body
got
itself.
that one like massive spike on
You
the
did
bridge
get a big
where
hit.
it was like it was. I don't even remember the number, but it was something outrageous and held for like 2 seconds and then left. And then when I walked back through that spot, it never spiked again.
And we're still kind of new with the whole the millimeter tech. So I mean, I'm sure as we progress, we'll get a little bit more in tune with how it works.
Yeah,
So yeah, like 5 minutes.
went to like 450.
There is. Let us know through one of these two forms how.
We could use some solutions right now.
Me just talking again.
Spike the fucking 3.4.
So yeah, for those of you just listening, it shot up to 3.4, and by the time I focused the camera on it, it's back to zero.
No, it's been holding zero the whole time, and I just got a 3.4.
But yeah, it was holding zero the whole time.
Yeah,
Every
the
time I
entire
looked at it,
time.
it was zero.
Is this when the planchette
keep you
started
here.
moving?
Mm-hmm. Definitely moved more with Nick Bryant than anybody else. More aggressively, faster, more often.
That's you trying to
Roll.
move this.
Roll.
He says
What's the
rule.
rule?
Yeah.
Is there a rule that it's forbidden to communicate?
Who made the rule? Do you want to communicate? Just give us a yes or no. Do you want to?
It feels like they're being stubborn.
It seemed that way, right? Like it seemed like they weren't answering the questions we wanted. They were just kind of saying what they wanted all night long. For the most part.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is when the planchette starts moving. It's moving slowly, but it's kind of like it's trying to spell something, and it spells K, and then it moves to S. He said R, but it's actually, we find out later, it's a K after the planchette moves. We can skip ahead to 8:26.
Get it.
The next, from after 8 minutes, this is like 8 minutes in is when it starts to get really freaking weird.
Did
gotta,
you
like,
move it up to a yes? to
gotta
tell
warm
us
her up, dude.
That you're here? Or the sun?
So we asked it
You're
to
friendly.
verify it's here.
I'd love it if you showed us by moving it to the sun.
That's
You're
kind
not
of like,
friendly.
I don't know how full
like
of shit
you
it
move it
is
to
or
the
not,
moon.
but I was always told like it'll move to the sun if it's
All
nice
I've heard that.
and move to the moon if
There.
it's evil or intends harm.
It's
All
whatever your
there?
intention is, you know?
Yeah.
Who's all here? Are there more than one of you here?
He said
How
all
many
there.
are here?
No.
Oh, it's cruising now. The planchette's cruising.
And this is the one where you see me and Bryan like adjusting our finger to keep up.
Yeah, it's flying.
You.
You?
I feel like you're
Got Bryan over here looking like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat. He's got his homemade blindfold on
So
because we
there's
forgot the
shit.
blindfold in the car.
Well, you said Emily, Linda, and
Yeah, what?
Oh, the planchette's flying now to the moon.
That's the moon, bro.
Nick freaks out.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, he says.
Goodbye.
And then it moved itself down.
Goodbye.
But it moves so quick that I'm sure, you know, once we get in the footage of what I see, but like me and Big Guy over here were like struggling to keep our
Because we were trying to stay
Right there.
super light.
Goodbye,
right there.
goodbye, goodbye.
Right there.
We would like to close this line of communication.
So either Bryant was pulling it like hell or something happened.
Well, there was one instance where the Ouija board was, the planchette was moving across the board at a steady pace, and Bryant has to switch his fingers,
Just booked it to the moon
and it still keeps moving.
Dude,
Bryant does?
Bryant, yeah.
dude, it's like I'm like literally like
Because I can look at all
this
my
light.
fingertips. Yeah.
Like Dylan can feel it there, like
You can
how
look-
light
yeah,
I
you-
was
Face
on
forward.
it, and it was
Face
straight.
So
forward.
we take a pause from it here, and then
occupied.
it's sort of like him just on the spirit box for a little bit, but nothing really happens until like 12:52. So like another couple minutes ahead.
Go up here.
So like we close the Ouija board session, and then we come back, we restart it.
Because of course we do. Because nothing says, "Hey, let's do that again." Like thinking that it was something mean or
Is
evil.
this demons?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like how we're just like, all right, well, the demon's probably gone now. Let's start it back up.
Yeah, the mean one's probably gone. I bet it's only Bob now.
Oh, this is interesting. So he just said in college.
Were you in college?
Are you the 24-year-old who they found here?
So the reason we know that is because the city worker told us that tidbit before we did this session. Or no, we saw it on the bridge. It was written on the bridge. Yeah. We hadn't talked to him yet.
And then we looked the name up that was written on the bridge.
Right. Which wasn't accurate, right?
No.
Stop.
Why do you want us to stop?
Safe space.
Definitely a college kid.
You want a safe space? We're friendly.
But we do later find out that the girl that was killed there in 2014 was in college.
Is there somebody else with you that is not nice?
Steps.
Are they preventing you from talking to us better?
This is all crazy stuff that he says in the next few minutes.
It's like at the point where I actually don't even remember.
It's frustrating now. Oh man, the Ouija board just moved straight up to the sun like really quickly.
So you are friendly.
But it's strange now because we have all this additional information. We watched this session and I can think of so many better questions to ask.
Yeah.
But we just didn't know at the time who it might have been that was answering the questions.
Is the person, are the other two with you friendly?
Guilty.
Oh man, God, fuck.
What are they guilty of?
Bryan's face right now.
Snap.
They snapped?
Is the person who shot you with you still?
So this is interesting, right? Because
pause
that.
Yeah. Pause that. I forgot all about that question.
Because we know that the killer from 2014 is alive and is in jail. And so,
how old was the girl?
I think she was 24.
She was 24
or 20. Like she was
like
young.
in that range.
So this is interesting because this confirms, like the reality. So the reality is the man's in jail and he wouldn't be here because he's still alive. And everything we're about to see confirms that the killer is not here. And he's in.
That's just tripped me the hell out.
It's just weird, man.
Estes method's weird, dude.
Started. Is it just moved and stayed on yes? No, it's like wanting to fucking move.
Ouija board's booking it now. And this is when
right
he
there.
switches his fingers, but it still moves.
He's not moving it because he just took his fingers.
No.
It's fucking horrifying.
That's
That's the terrifying
Bryan,
part.
it's fucking horrifying, dude.
And that's what it felt.
Killer.
Killer.
Is there a killer here that's communicating with us? No, that's good.
Did your boyfriend kill you?
Do you have a photo?
I may.
I bought cheap dollar store batteries.
Shaking from being
Yeah, my recorder's about to die. Might need a cable.
Be as minimal as possible.
What was your name?
All right. Yeah, I think it drops off here.
Let me grab that cord real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna get a cord to plug in our recorder. But yeah, so this is interesting, right? Because
I had forgotten all about this session and everything that's because like Nick was saying earlier, like Big Guy was in earlier. This has been a couple months,
right?
And so like I completely forgot about everything that was said here and how pointed that also is.
Right.
And at this point, we knew nothing.
And we've learned more in the past just few weeks or months, since, like, even more recently, that is confirming everything from these sessions, which is bizarre, man.
It's
kind of
and and honestly, it's been kind of a synchronicity storm also, because the woman who wrote my permit, or our permit for Lick Road, I ended up meeting her in person by sheer happenstance through work.
It's trying right now. Beaver Creek.
If you need to, you can use energy from someone here or something.
I never noticed he said Beaver Creek there.
Borrow it.
That's weird.
If you're friendly.
So nothing happens until
Okay.
a minute later. Oh yeah, look at that. Starts cruising.
Yeah,
Board
it's
starts
starting to
cruising.
move. I was starting to really move. You're almost there if you're trying to say yes.
Oh, your guys' hands are shaking like crazy.
It's kind of hard when you're like
You're trying to-
hold it so
you're trying to
lightly that you
barely
don't
touch it.
influence it.
Yeah.
Plus, I always shake.
Yeah.
Is someone stopping you from moving on?
So I watched this earlier and I thought about this because big guy asks, is someone stopping you from moving on? And it goes to the Ouija symbol. And I'm like wondering if that means something like people like keep coming to Lick Road looking for ghosts, sort of like
So the spirit
summoning them
can't-
to this place.
Can't run.
You know?
Can't go away.
Just a thought. I don't know. You know, they talk about people making places haunted, or like manifesting haunted
You can
things
move
in
on.
places, and you know, it makes you wonder about this situation. If, like, the
Sure,
story of
it'd be more
Amy,
enjoyable.
the story of Linda, like all these things have kind of like made a ghost there, brought a ghost there.
It's brought all the elements to the party,
Right.
and then we're just partaking.
All the like negative.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like a quote, I think, from the intro that we're doing that Nick says, like, Nick felt that whatever was there had been brought there. And to me, that was pretty on point. That
Right.
the area itself, pretty area, shouldn't have anything wrong, but the fact that people have disrespected and disused it has, you know, it's poisoned the well. So,
Well, and another thing, this is sort of my hypothesis again, but, you know, we talk about it being a mineral lick, and traditionally salt is viewed in like esotericism as this binding agent, like it binds spirits or souls to an area.
well, salt's been it's been a thing in count. I mean, look at the salt circles. You know, salt's been used it's been used ritualistically for hundreds of years. So
I'm speculating, but, you know, is this a sink for souls, or like a?
Well, also
I don't want
wa-
to use the word trap, but
the
like
water itself is known to be, like, even in kind of witchcraft circles, and I don't mean witchcraft in a derogatory way. I just mean in witchcraft practices, in other mysticisms, in paranormal things, water itself is said to have like a power, like it could be an amplifying agent, it could be anything, and it's so here at this area you have, you know, mineral deposits, you have running, you know, constant moving water in the area. It's a marsh, it's a forest. It has, to me, it's got all those little magic sprinklings to make it something, to make it a usable area for better or for worse.
All the
No doubt.
ingredients.
Yep. He wraps up his session
Better
here.
ingredients. Better Ghosts.
Bob Evans.
Threshold Paranormal.
Bob Evans.
Well, then staying here.
Bob Evans down at the lick.
Okay, so he just pulled off his blindfold.
All right, we had to close
That's the most disorienting part, though. Coming out of that shit.
Put your hand back on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you got to close. So, kind of took his hand away prematurely, which is not recommended, depending on who you ask.
Continue to make
We've all been there, though.
attempts to communicate with us tonight. At this time, we have to say
Perhaps.
goodbye. Goodbye.
So I don't know if you heard that, but the last thing he said in the spirit box was perhaps. So Nick, big guy says,
Perhaps at the end.
maybe we'll talk to you again. Maybe we'll talk to you again later tonight.
And you see both me and
he
Brad
says,
same reaction,
"Perhaps."
like, oh.
It's stressful, dude.
I feel like you're always on edge.
You
Oh,
are.
so we got a smart ass, do we?
Could you hear us when we asked that last question?
I want to give it a go.
He said, will you keep communicating with us for the rest of the night? And your last thing you said was perhaps.
Let me try this.
And you can't
No
hear. I couldn't hear
fucking
shit.
way.
And the,
Dude, no, there were like some.
It's just interesting, man.
So, like, if we're moving on to the next one, all I got to do is bow.
Yeah. So Bryan wanted to jump in immediately after that. I think that was right after. Like we turned right around and you put on the blindfold and you put on the headphones.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly how it went, but I know
striking
I
while
was.
the iron was hot.
And I had this weird fear that I was going to put that shit on my head and cover my eyes, and everyone was going to leave the damn table. I was just going to be sitting there in the
talked about it.
woods.
Yeah, we actually did for a little bit.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. It is this because you're out and you're in the open and you have this weird feeling of being vulnerable and it's
You open your eyes and there's just people in robes standing around you.
Oh,
in a circle.
exactly.
Now,
That
just
is
think
exactly
about
it.
the extended period of time that you guys left me out there by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
You'd be all right.
you're still here.
I swear, dude, I'm just the Aaron. That's all it is.
He's not going to get like possessed by a demon. He's just going to get attacked by like a wild animal.
Yeah, right. Like,
Come back and he's covered in wasp stings. You know what I mean?
God.
It was a bobcat ghost. It got me.
I didn't think wolves were around here, but looks like a wolf.
All right, so watching Bryant's Estes session here. Bryan gets right after it. Oh, this is me.
Is there anyone here?
Wrong one.
Yeah.
You're not Bryan.
I'm not Bryan. This is Bryan. Bryan gets
I
excited.
don't even want to listen to it.
No. Fucking lit goddamn fucking road.
Pause it real quick.
Lick road. Swear to
I'm about to meet my cursing quota for like 4 podcasts in like 30 seconds here. I got rather excited. So this was because I wasn't really ready. I wasn't ready for this is the first time I like each time we do this is all of our first times doing this method. So not only is it creepy and eerie feeling, but it's the first damn thing I heard just threw me for a loop. Wasn't ready for it, but I gathered my shit and we get back into it.
Lick road.
Lick road.
So he heard Lick road.
fucking God. Swear to fucking God.
You done?
Swear to fucking
I'm
God.
showing the
Look at my fucking
goosebumps.
goosebumps, bro.
You want me to do it?
In a fucking old-timey dude voice.
You want
Old,
me to
like
do it?
fucking swing music shit. Whoo, motherfucker, dude. Motherfucker. It went, you heard, Lick Road. Like that fucking, no, but that old-timey, like fucking 1920, yeah, 30s, that fucking, whoo, motherfucker.
Like straight Hindenburg, the humanity voice.
Throw it back on. Let's do this.
Colorful.
Got this.
I'm usually not the
So we
cursing
talked
type.
about, it taking time to warm up. You plugged right in, man. You
Dude, it hit me hard from the
Like
get.
a
It's like,
bolt
let's
of
sucker
lightning.
punch this.
straight to the dome, Lick road.
And then it chilled out though for a little bit.
Yeah, let me see. I don't remember. Obviously, we're not going to watch these whole things because we would be here for like 3 hours. But
Yeah, we want to. say some stuff.
I'll put this one on.
Oh, pause real quick too.
Yeah.
What's the thing with the red light? That was like a
The millimeter?
Yeah,
the
so
red light thing.
The
Supposedly
the idea is that some of these spirits or ultra terrestrials or what have you, anything paranormal sort of like exists beyond the visible spectrum. And so since red light is at the extreme end of our visible spectrum, it's sort of this way to like, I guess people believe it signals the paranormal.
like a beacon.
It's like a beacon. So you want to take the person that is acting as the conduit and you want to bathe them in red light.
Light them up.
Light them up red. And it looks cool.
Much like our set.
So you, after your lightning bolt of lick road, it gets quiet. And the only words we hear are like, you say 21, hello, keep it, where I, see me. And nothing happens on the Ouija board for like 6 minutes. So we'll fast forward to like 6 minutes. You get real quiet for a little bit.
It's not like me.
Are you trying to show yourself?
And those are
You can
candles
show
on the
yourself
bridge
to
back
us.
there. We lit.
We won't
we
hurt
lit
you.
it to kind of try to.
Cold.
The theory was to lead them to us.
Mm-hmm. We want to
Are
add
you
kind of a
cold?
ritual element to it.
Ready.
Ready.
Are you ready to communicate? If so, just start moving it like you did before. Are you friendly?
So that this coming up, we do this thing. We did it each time in each Estes method session. We talked about lending energy. I think mine was the only one we didn't talk about that. But there's this. Maybe you explain it better. But like being able to take energy from the lights or from people or something like that.
Yeah, so a big theory is that spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, will piggyback off of people, electronics, anything that they can to try to get energy to be able to manifest.
Even their
or
like their physical
move.
energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you'll have in a lot of these scenarios, like I know me personally, there were multiple times where I would say it or I would be like, you're able to use me as energy. Very specifically not asking them to like straight up take me over or anything, but I will lend it to you. Tried to be like very specific with that wording because I don't want to get an exorcism.
Be careful.
But the whole thought is like, if I lend them a little bit of mine, it might drain me for a few minutes, but it would allow them enough to
give us some
interact
good content,
with us,
man.
to move the planchette or. A lot of times there's a lot of reports of people's cameras or batteries being fully charged and then instantly getting drained and something happening.
Be like, I'll lend you some energy, but you need to plug thresholdparanormal.com.
Yeah, we gotta have
Merch store.
stipulations.
I will lend you enough energy to follow us on Snapchat.
All right, so from 7:25 to 10:30, so like 3 solid minutes. We do the like energy lending stuff.
We know earlier you told us there were 3 of you.
Next.
Why was my fucking beard so short?
Do you not want to talk about the others?
Here.
Who's here?
Nice.
Nice, dude.
So people here are
Nice.
nice. We're nice too. Do you need energy?
Will you
If you're asking,
just take something? Just take the something.
It's kind of poignant, you know.
okay. You just. What do you want us to take? If you're unable
Lick.
to lick,
She's asking if you can give your energy. That's what I'm getting at.
are you wanting to use our energy? You're more than welcome to. We won't mind. Suddenly, Bryan just faints.
What's that?
Suddenly, Bryan faints.
Ooh, chills. Okay.
It's like a green.
And you notice, like, I had chills and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
whose are you taking?
Bryant seemed like he was feeling a little queasy. Keep saying Bryant. Need to emphasize the T. Nick B. We'll say that. Yeah.
You're welcome to take some of mine if you would like. If that's what it takes to move the planchette and communicate better.
That is also why my wife does not get to listen to this one.
I will give
Oh,
them
yeah.
as a
State
gift
weeks.
between friends.
Yeah, so it kind of falls
I
off
can
there.
only
But
give them to you for
And
now.
I don't know about them, but I was waiting for every candle on that damn bridge to just go out and
Blow
in a
up.
series.
Oh,
Like in order.
I was waiting for them to shoot pillars of flame up. Just like a witch to just levitate across.
We could probably
the,
pay someone to do that, like CGI. That'd be pretty metal, wouldn't it?
We should just go out there and scare the hell out of some teenagers. That'd
Bring
be
our
fun.
pyrotechnics display.
Down there smoking their dope.
Smoking their left-handed cigarettes.
We had a guy say that too, didn't we?
What?
I used to go down there and smoke dope.
Oh yeah. Also, there
love
was
it.
all kinds of characters coming down there, man.
The people watch down there is actually amazing.
Oh yeah. If you just want to people watch, that place is a solid 8 out of 10.
You get some ghost hunting hillbillies, some guy talking about his dope.
So Bryan's session picks back up, and we do get interrupted by some unscrupulous teenagers,
Some hooligans.
some dang hooligans.
And at first it scared the crap out of us.
Yeah.
Away.
Are you going away? Do you want us to go away?
Up. Up twice.
I was hearing the same thing. I was hearing directions like
Do
that.
you want us to leave?
Up, I think I said around a couple times.
If you tell us yes, we will oblige.
We weren't going to oblige.
Oblige him.
God damn, I'm handsome.
If you want us to leave, just tell us yes or move the planchette to the moon.
You weren't getting a whole lot of Ouija board action
I
either.
didn't feel anything on the Ouija board, dude.
I think you got a little bit of twitching.
Which very well could have just been all of us trying.
Yeah, like right there. Right there. It looks like it's moving a little bit.
Tomorrow soon.
Yeah, it's late. Is that you moving it to the moon? It got close. I just can't tell if it's quite there or not.
Look out.
Look out.
If
If you want us to move
That's when everyone got on
or
edge.
leave, just move it up a little more.
If they wanted us to leave, we were going to make them work for it.
Goodbye, goodbye,
Real fucking cold.
goodbye.
I do remember that. All of a sudden, I get my entire body. I got like cold chills starting from the legs up.
So yeah, we ended the Ouija session, but we kept Bryan in the Estes
that
method.
it?
How do we do it? My turn. I'm gonna ask some fucking questions.
That is it for now, unless you would like to talk more. It seems like you like talking into the spirit box.
Help.
That was when we heard like a
Yeah.
very off in the distance scream.
Yeah, we heard a scream.
Right after it said help.
Yes.
Nick's eyes are as big as his face.
Is that you yelling for us?
Estes.
What the? No, there was a definite fucking scream you heard.
Yeah.
right?
No, that's fucking crazy.
Do you need our help?
Like how fast my head was twitching around, like, looking like a little crackhead. Like,
It was haunting, man. It was like a legit scream.
yeah, it was pretty.
Is that you yelling?
Like a group of kids.
That we heard?
Something over here.
But I don't even think that first scream was from the kids because it was way further off.
But that's what's interesting is it seems like Bryan's aware of the screaming because he's saying like behind.
I could not hear shit.
Right, but I mean, like in whatever's communicating with you is telling you about what's happening.
Please.
She was over at your house the weekend before you disappeared.
Yeah, Nick Bryant's.
You remember Lisa Bryan?
His mom. Yeah, I forgot about
let's give
that.
her a pause here.
Yeah, Nick Bryant's mom was friends with the girl.
Linda?
Yeah,
with Linda
from
died.
the
Yeah,
70s.
that they found back in the 70s. So that was like another weird synchronicity we had happen.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we are getting close to the end of your session here.
Six.
Yeah, there's 6 candles.
My mom said she was also about that age.
4.
There's 4 of us.
Here.
Yeah, there are 4 here.
Yeah, that's interesting. It said 6 and 4. There are 6 candles and 4 people.
She tried speaking a little lower.
Can you tell us your name?
It is love.
I didn't know your name was Love, Brian.
Is it love that?
So it
It's
is.
a middle name.
It's interesting. It said, my name is Love, so it is.
Someone you know kill you?
Help.
Did someone you love kill you?
What do you need help with? If we can help you, we will try.
I feel like the first person we were talking to was Emily, and this is Linda, for sure.
Next.
Oh yeah. So we need to clarify that. So when we got there, we saw a memorial on the bridge that was written into the guardrail, and it said, "In memory of Emily, 2014," and we thought that was someone who was murdered there. I don't know why we thought that. So we were addressing Emily all night long, which is not the name of anyone connected with Lick Road. I think it was just somebody memorializing their friend or something on the bridge there.
Next question.
You were. Well, he's also said that twice.
Both were like right after a question.
What it is.
It's a big question. But I don't know.
So you won't tell us your name?
Are we talking to Linda or Emily?
Stay with something.
That was another thing I was having happen is like either the beginning or the end. So it would like trail off
Actually,
or fade in.
Yeah, there's some pretty big breaks here.
Do you need help? We've noticed that it's given Bryan help
ahead, skip
multiple
towards the
times.
end.
Going to count down. I want to see if you can give the number that will proceed where I stop.
Yeah, Bryan was counting just
Help
before
me.
this, counting down.
9, 8,
honestly.
7,
Okay.
6, 5, 4.
Ooh, stop. Ooh, fuck. That was a different fucking voice.
So he didn't answer, but he did say stop.
No, but
which
did
is
you
kinda
ever
strange.
did you hear sounds that were like very
Oh,
distinctly
you can't even
different
hear me.
sound? I don't know how to describe it. Here, pause it for a second.
A couple times I heard things like that.
through the spirit box, like most of the noises you're hearing through that kind of have the same like tone
They
to
sound
them.
distant or heavily modulated.
Yeah, they have the same sound to them. I don't know how else to describe it. You'd have to like experience it. But when I heard the stop, I remember it sounding distinctly different than everything I'd been listening to.
Right.
Like it's some.
You get these
something else
breakthrough
came.
sounds.
Yeah, something else came through in the noise to say that.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff like that.
Look.
Look, everyone's like, okay.
5. Gone.
Quit it.
See me just put the flashlight right back away, like, all right.
It gets interesting here in a second.
I heard you talking about cold earlier. Were you talking?
It won't strike them.
And that's what I'm saying, man. It always seems like it crescendos right before it stops. So I did this because I do the same thing in my session. It's always like before it goes cold and it seems like you're not hearing anything. You're hearing like complete sentences.
Oh yeah, like
it'll start with like up, down, purple.
Sounds like a Grand Theft Auto cheat code at first.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're at
R2,
the end, you're
R2.
reading, an Arthur Conan Doyle novel.
Yeah.
The entire
It won't
works of
strike
Tolkien.
them. 4-7.
Is the place you're in cold?
Goodbye.
Like I said, it crescendos and then
Goodbye.
it slows down
Goodbye.
and stops. These commonalities in all the sessions.
I want to see if that's actually like he stops hearing like anything.
Are you really done talking to us?
Up. Multiple.
The first.
Dude. That was kind of creepy.
Now.
It looked like one after the other was slightly dimming. It was really weird.
Yeah, I think we had a couple candles blow out throughout the night.
It was like doing it in a line.
Yeah, I mean, they were on a bridge.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Okay, so Bryant hears something. None of us hear anything. And then what happens next is scared the shit out of everyone here except for Bryan because he had his headphones on.
Yeah, Bryan had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, until we took him out.
It's kind of the usual.
So for those of you who aren't watching, you're listening, the expressions that follow are pretty funny.
I'm pretty sure this is actually the biggest my eyes get.
I thought I might have heard footsteps.
You have to listen closely.
Watch.
We might have.
That was loud.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So I say watch, and then it screams.
Mm-hmm.
See that? I think that's what made it so much worse.
It's like I said, like it seemed like you were
That
you had
sounded
like a premonition of it or something.
Not only that, but I want to see if.
You hear it again.
Someone's hurt, dude.
But so I do want to preface this by saying
Come to find out, there were some little shitheads.
there were some teenagers wandering a boot, and then after we kind of talked to them and said like, "Hey, we're doing this," and
We didn't talk. He's lying. Dylan came in there and intimidated these children, which I approve of.
I gave them a stern talking to.
There you go.
Don't be fucking
And
around.
I'm behind him going,
Because we were live streaming
Yeah.
and people were watching our live stream, so we're thinking people were stream sniping us while we're out there. These little bastards.
Well, because like all these like teenagers we had ran into earlier, like were following us on Snapchat and stuff and like watching. So we assumed it was them.
Don't do that.
don't be a douche.
Don't be like a real life troll. Just troll
Don't
on
be a
4chan
douche.
like everybody else.
Yeah. Or a Call of Duty lobby.
Yeah, that's where you get your rocks off if you're a troll. But yeah, it is funny to watch Bryan come back out of the experience, and we're just scared the shit out
Yeah,
of him.
I come out of this and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
He comes out of the experience like, oh man, that wasn't that crazy. We're like, no, it's way crazier than you think.
Somebody's screaming. A person is screaming right now.
Huh?
Up the road.
What are you, like, fucking straight
Yeah,
up?
like,
Yeah.
to the point
Straight
where
up.
I should probably just see if they're alive.
I like how we're laughing while we're saying like
The
we should see if
nervous
they're
laughter.
alive.
Well, here, I'll go help Nick. Do you guys want to watch my shit?
Yeah.
Like, straight up scream?
Yes. Like
Someone
loud.
screamed earlier, but this was fucked.
I'm pissed.
Should I turn the mic off?
Yeah, let's just drop it.
So yeah, that's pretty much
I'm
Bryan's
so
session.
pissed I missed the scream. I'm glad it's recorded though, because that big guy expression, that is threshold gold.
So
That should be our like a that should be like just a reaction clip we use, a zoom in, just a
So at this point of the evening, me and Nick Bryant go looking for these kids, couldn't find them. And then me and Bryan go back out there to...
And then Nick Bryant.
Oh,
leaves
we
me there
were
by
waiting for him
myself.
behind the fucking van.
Yeah, we were
dude.
hiding behind the van in the cul-de-sac waiting for these kids to roll up. And we were going to talk to them. Well, a car rolls up that we
With
think's
our
a
this. No,
we
I'm
think
joking.
it's a police car. Turns out to be a city worker. And we talked to this guy for like a solid 30 minutes, like 20,
Oh
30
yeah,
minutes.
30, 45 minutes easy.
We have it recorded. It didn't really fit the podcast here, but
He was vomiting, and it was like you spun the dude up, and he
knew everything.
he
about
kept
Lick Road.
going. He
And
kept
so-
trying to call he had like a buddy, right?
Yeah, he kept saying he was going to call his buddy. He was kind of scatterbrained a little bit.
But the buddy knew, like the buddy knew more or something like that, or knew
Right,
something he
yeah.
didn't. It was a weird scenario, but I mean, cool as hell guy, nice guy.
Yeah.
Kind of gave us a rundown. He's like, yeah, I usually just kind of cruise through here and scare off the kids. You know, he
Because-
has no real authority there, I guess. But as long as they're not using that's another thing too. Like if you do go to Lick Road and you do want to poke around, don't go down the middle. It's the one off to the left. So don't make those guys any jobs harder than they have to be. Just stick to the program.
Yeah, there's a water treatment plant back on the right gate, all the way to the back. That's city property. Don't go there.
And there's chemicals back there that will literally probably dissolve your shoes. So
or turn you into a superhero. But it's not worth the risk.
Do you want that gamble?
You want to roll those dice?
Wait a minute. It can turn me into. Can we go back?
Yeah, but you'd probably have some like shitty superpower, just like metal fingernails.
That I can work with that.
Those kids that night were all over the fucking place. They definitely went back there.
Yeah.
Remember that one couple we had come back there? They were obviously enjoying their night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
y'all looking for ghosts?
High as a Japanese kite, as they say.
Yeah, we were looking for ghosts.
They were seeing them though.
But this next one, next up is Old Dill, and this is the one to me that is looking back now, knowing what we know and putting all the pieces together. This one is, there's so many poignant things that are said. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me. It's a lot of crazy shit.
We knew that a girl, at this point, we knew a girl was shot there. Or killed there
from the guy. But we knew nothing about the crime itself.
Because he didn't know either. Yeah, he just knew someone died there.
Yeah, all he knew is there was an actual death that had happened recently at the place, and then afterwards, Dylan came back and dove deep into finding out more about it, and then we come back to watch this footage, and we're like, "Holy shit, man!" Like
it doesn't seem like I'm answering any of the questions.
No. Like if you're just watching the footage, you're not gonna really understand. So we'll kind of. I mean, do you want to like pause and explain through it? You know,
yeah, we can do that
because it's crazy. It might not seem that impressive in this, but as we were researching it and finding it out, it was wild.
Also, this this one we started having technical issues towards the end of the night.
As is tradition.
Wouldn't be a Threshold Paranormal podcast without
whether it's paranormal or my own stupidity is up for debate. I'm going to blame it on the ghosts. So, yeah, play my shit.
Play that good track.
Play that fucking track.
Opening the ceremony as we do.
Who?
Do I look like an owl? Oh, the lav mics were a fail, so this one sounds significantly shittier than the other two. Sounds like we're in a wind tunnel.
Cold.
We'd been at it for a while.
Cold. So okay, I hate to pause it again already, but all three of us said cold.
We did.
Yeah.
And early on.
And
had to be at the start of all of those, I guess.
What that's a reference to, I don't know. I think. You know, the girl that was murdered there in 2014 was murdered in December. So if we want to, I mean, that's a stretch, I guess, but it certainly wasn't cold when we were there.
I mean, it was chilly at night, but it was nice during the day.
1.
How many of you are here? Just one?
Just 7.
Just 7 of you.
We're all over the place with our numbers.
Does one of you want to talk?
Go.
Told us to go.
You reek.
Are we talking to Emily or Linda?
Like how Brian's just like, no, we don't reek. Moving on.
This is where it gets kind of strange. I just said, it's a bullet.
We'll go back to
Is it a bullet?
Yeah, we can rewind it here.
You reek.
Are we talking to Emily or Linda or
It's a bullet.
Amy? Was it a bullet that killed you?
It's small.
Pause that. So, come to find out, the girl that was murdered at Lick Road was shot in the back, right? With a .22 caliber gun of some sort. So, for him to say it was a bullet,
Small.
it was small. You know what I mean? Like there were just so many answers, and at the time, like right now, we knew none of the details to the crime. None of them.
Small bullet killed you.
I think I have more detail here.
Guys.
Were there multiple people?
Behind.
So that's even more interesting, right? Because the victim was shot in the back from behind by a guy with a small bullet. So, like I said, it's not like I'm answering the questions, but it seems like
It's that foreshadowing shit, man.
Well, there was like a what do they call that? Like a free thought, like just dump into the spirit box here, and I was just pouring out a bunch of information. Let's skip ahead here. It gets quiet. Let's see. Right here.
It feels like something grabbed my arm. Like no bullshit, like my right arm.
Are you something else?
So that's interesting. In hindsight, I guess it really wasn't like it was something was grabbing my arm. It was like I explained it to you earlier. It's because I'm wearing a jacket in the video. Felt like something was grabbing, kind of like grabbing a handful of my sleeve and like tightening the grip around it. So it was like tightening around my arm. Could be an effect of like when you use the Ouija board, you have to hover your hand, or you have to hover your forearm over the table, and it gets a little bit uncomfortable after a while.
Still weird.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, yeah. Where are we at? I got my little script here. All right, so yeah, again, it gets quiet for several minutes, and then we get more poignant information up here.
Want to step forward and talk? Come right here, you just have to move this.
There's a motorcycle driving by.
Yep, this piece right here. Push it, pull it. Pop
Throw
it.
them. They're stinging. It stinks. Here.
So mine seems so much more scattered than all the other ones. Maybe I was calling out more stuff. Maybe I have a more overactive imagination. But maybe these are things that don't mean anything now, but as we learn more, maybe they'll mean something later. I don't know.
I'm just glad we have the footage just to look back on, because that's the...
Yeah. Me being egocentric and thinking mine's like super important.
I think it is. Fuck it, it's got my vote.
I can see that. What stings?
Right here.
The sun might go to the moon. Show me.
I don't know what happens here.
Hi.
Are you wanting to communicate with us?
You.
It's me.
Hold this.
This is
Oh,
old,
yeah. Sort of describing the method as an old method.
Old way.
A lot of people feel that way. They feel like the Ouija board is like an antiquated tool.
It gets some results though.
Yeah, old trusty.
Are you wanting to talk?
See?
Spanish ghost.
Yeah,
Might be in.
Show us on here. You want to see?
I'm getting like a little action on the Ouija board, but it's not much. Just like a few, like an inch or so.
Yeah, me and you both had really kind of slow action with that.
I think there is a component. So the thing I had trouble with was, I think there's a visual element to the Ouija board. I think you have to keep your eyes on the planchette.
It is very hard to focus on to being like cut off visually, trying your best to listen to what's going on in that mess, and trying to keep your hand lightly on this board, try to kind of follow it where it goes.
Right.
It's that is a lot to ask. And if anything, I feel like next time we should have like 3 people on the board, 1 person cut off from the board doing the Estes method. I feel like that would be a much better method. But
conducive.
like this was our first time tackling something like this. So I mean, it's one of those things we're gonna have to learn as we go.
Refine the method a little bit. Yeah, I think a few times the planchette literally slid out from underneath my fingers. Like,
oh yeah.
Because the idea is you want to touch it just so gently, just so lightly that you just barely feel it under your fingers. So if it starts moving and you're not keeping up with it, it'll just run out underneath your fingers.
And that way you're not influencing it. That's the idea.
That's a big thing. You want to have as little impact on it as possible.
Right, and you might be, if you can't see it and you feel it slipping, you might try to play catch up and then end up pushing it somewhere it's not supposed to go. So I don't know if being blindfolded and doing the Ouija board is the best method.
But we tried
That's how we found out. Ouija board's dope though. Let's see. Let's skip ahead here a little bit.
Do you want to control the experience?
Oh yeah. So just before this, like we were talking about earlier, the complete sentences preceding the end of the session.
Control the experience.
Do you want to control the experience?
Here's a good deal.
How old are you?
Sit
Yeah, you can come sit down.
here.
Yep.
That big smile of gratification on Brian's face.
Yeah, we
right
finally
there.
got something similar to an answer, some semblance of an answer.
How long have you been here?
Just gotta flash a light in my eyes.
Oh yeah, so I tested this later. What happens if you're listening? Big guy, I think, was looking at something off in the woods or something, and he flashed his light, and it kind of lit up my face. The blindfold I'm wearing isn't perfect, and I think a little bit of light leaked underneath the blindfold, and I saw a flash of white light in my eyes, but I called it out like it was some kind of visionary experience.
And I didn't know that, so I reacted like a dumbass. But
Maybe it was, man. I don't know, but I did test it, and I was able to replicate that.
I actually think it's when we paused at one
Scattered.
point to be like, Dylan, was it you saying you saw light, or was that what it said?
What is?
My hand's freezing. My hand is warm as fuck. My hand is froze. This camera is. Like I'm gonna have to restart the shot
Yeah, big guy was working the camera and having a hell of a time because it was acting on all kinds of crazy. Should be sort of the end of this session coming up here. Only a few more things.
Are you causing us all these problems right now?
Yeah, it was like having to flash restart the shot like every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Triple.
Triple what?
Death.
Okay. Are you talking about those,
Okay.
Triple death. Okay.
the 3 people that are the 3 names attached to this road?
I don't know. Won't you? Give me that.
So this is interesting. This is something that me and Bryan, we watched this earlier, and I think if I'm reading into this, it says triple death. Give me that. Or Bryan asks, is this about the 3 murders here? What was it? Basically the takeaway I got was it sounded like whoever was saying this wanted us to tell the story of their murder. Right?
Yeah, it was.
I think you asked, can you tell us about it or something like that? And
yeah. That part's coming. Yeah, that's coming up.
Heart attack?
Oh, okay, this is when it breaks away.
And
so you said something like,
I thought it was
This camera is.
what was it?
Like I'm gonna have no restart.
Well, I went way too far back.
triple.
Triple what?
Death.
Okay. Okay. Are you talking about
Ice.
the
Ice.
3 people that are the 3
Another
names
cold
attached
reference.
to this road?
I don't know. Won't you? Give me that.
So yeah, that's where I got out of that. It's like, won't you give me that? Like,
Yeah.
won't you tell me about what happened here?
Yeah, tell us the story of what happened, because if they are the victims reaching out, they
may not have.
I don't know how it ended. You know what I mean?
So maybe we're asking shitty questions because you always ask the ghosts what happened to you?
That's probably what it is. If I had to guess, it's definitely our fault.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, definitely our fault, not the ghosts.
What happened to you? I don't know. What the fuck are you doing here?
To be honest, we probably couldn't find our ass with 2 hands and a flashlight, but
That's why we are semi-professional ghost hunters and volunteer firefighters.
We're working on it. Pretty much we wrap it up here.
We're going to end the Ouija board now.
Close the session. I'm freaked out because I feel like that's moving on its own. Not realizing you guys are closing it.
Like you actually see it in your face, like
what the hell's going on?
I feel like it was all over the fucking place.
We weren't getting anything.
It's just random shit.
Yeah, see, our reaction at that time was we knew that a death had happened there officially, but we knew no details. And so then I think it was almost like it was a couple days later before you dove into the actual crime, wasn't it? Or it was like a day or 2 later. It was some time later.
It took some time to find it.
Yeah, but then he hit us up in Discord and was like, hey, like this shit changes the whole aspect of what we were, of the information we were getting from the spirit box.
If you Google Lick Road murder, it's not even on the first page. Like, it's going to take you a while to find the story. And that's why so many people that look into the lore of Lick Road, they basically tell the same tired stories, the urban legends, and they don't know anything about the true crime that happened there.
The death happened on the trail.
On the trail.
And remember when, was it me and you who were walking up to the van and we kept having those bursts? We were having I don't know what it could have been from. I'm sure it had pretty sure it had a natural explanation. but we would walk through these.
Supernatural.
Yeah, we would walk through these bursts of like pockets of super warm air. Remember that?
Yeah.
As we were walking, it was random because I mean it was a relatively cool night. Probably wasn't the 60s, but it's just wild. And what gets me the most is the looking back, and that's what's kind of crazy is while it's all going on and while it's happening, it's almost like you don't appreciate what you are getting. You're kind of thinking, oh man, we like right there at the end, we were like, man, we got nothing on the Ouija board. We were getting, nothing here, but to look back, you're like, man, we were getting we were actually getting some good shit. So
it's interesting, man. I think like we keep saying, we're refining the method. I think that's what's most important. I think blindfold Ouija board is just kind of a fool's errand at this point. I definitely think we should have, it's okay to do them in tandem, but have different people operating different aspects of the board for sure. But that was the start to the Liquor. We thought we'd have some samples of what we've been doing and working on and chugging away at. This is the first part of it. So now after all this, we definitely want to get back there at some point, We're just gonna ride the wave with it, I guess, dude. Yeah. With Lick Road, at least, we're still gonna do our typical content and do whatever. But Lick Road is gonna be one of those. It's almost like an investment at this point. I have the lady who writes the permits for Lick Road. I have her phone number, so I can literally just it's kind of a little spot now. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys liked it. There's a bunch more of footage. That was a very tip of the iceberg. Yeah, very limited amount of that was just some good stuff. There's still tons of good stuff left. Plan on going back. I have a friend that's interested in coming with us. He's a medium. Yeah, we're gonna throw some Tim. We're gonna throw what we got at it now. Like I said, like Dylan was saying, we're gonna refine what we've done. We're gonna learn from our mistakes. That was our first time tackling anything like that. I mean, we had permits. We were gung ho. We probably took way too much shit, honestly.
We even stopped and got snacks along the way.
I mean, we were in it. So yeah, just stay tuned for more Lick Road content. We hope you guys like it. We find it interesting as hell. I mean, if you guys think it sucked, then it's my personal favorite around here, especially since we don't have to it's not that difficult to pull a permit for us. So. Nah. Right. So we it's really accessible, man. If you guys ever want to go down there, just go down there during the day and check it out because it is a park. You're allowed to go there. Yeah, look around. It's a pretty place. I wouldn't recommend going alone. I sure would. Oh, actually, no. The trails are treacherous. They could be pretty. Yeah. It's not like a difficult hike, but they're washed out. Take a friend or FaceTime some shit while you're there. I don't know. You don't want some 127-hour shit going down. Yeah, it's or do you? It needs to be respected. But the big message I want to get out, with that is the place needs cleaned up. Yeah. If you do go down there, you will see it is literally an illegal dumping site of everything from futons to TVs to motor batteries to glass. I mean, let's put it this way. Out of the 3 times that I have personally gone down there with us, the one time as we're pulling up, there's a lady literally dumping stuff. Yeah, that we grab our kids, and then she gets in the car and leaves. That's despicable. And then the second time we go down there, and we do the little pseudo interview with Nick Bryant, and then literally are there the next day for our investigation, and there are brand new garbage batteries and stuff there that were not there the night before. The city should not have to clean up for your sloppy ass mess. I think the city is going down there and getting stuff too. Oh no, they have to be just clean it up just to keep up. But dude, don't be a scumbag. Yeah, don't be a scumbag. Get rid of it. Get rid of stuff the right way. The place was donated as a memorial to a woman's husband. That he personally planted thousands of trees there by hand. You know what we could do is, what if we started some kind of GoFundMe or something? For a cleanup effort, dumpster or something put in there. Comment on the video or comment, because we're going to throw this up on Facebook. So either comment on here on YouTube or shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Let us know if you'd be interested in
armed security for Lick Road.
Yeah, or joining up for the cleanup effort, because, you know, I'm sure the three of us would be down to get out there and clean the place up because it needs it. So if you'd be interested in something like that, we can try to contact with the city or with our, you know, we got the connection there. So
if we get a big enough turnout, like enough people reaching out, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to arrange.
Oh yeah, we could do it.
No city's going to be like, no, don't come clean up our park.
It'd be a good day's work, but I mean, it could be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you guys like the content today. Check us, check the cool merch out, thresholdparanormal.com. Subscribe, man. Like the video, share the video. Tell your best friend from 8th grade about the video. Let your dog watch the video with you.
We're posting fun stuff on Facebook every day now.
Yeah, we got like a schedule going now. We're more
Interesting
active
stuff.
So get on there, man.
Join
Search
the
us.
community.
We're a family. When you're here, you're family.
Cult.
We're making hand hearts.
I gotta find his heart.
Aw.
All right, Nick, hit him with that outro, boy.
Follow us on Threshold Paranormal Podcast at Facebook, Threshold Para on Snapchat, Threshold Paranormal Podcast at gmail.com, thresholdparanormal.com. Check out the shop. We got posters. We got shirts. We got hoodies. That's about it, but we got it. And as is the new tradition, what do you call a man with no body and no nose?
What do you call them?
Nobody knows.
I swear to fucking God, Nick.
We've taken you to
The show.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we did a podcast on Friday the 13th.
Batteries only died once.
You heard it here.
Bye-bye.